Hello my dears, my name is Mariana and welcome to my channel. Here we are in a new space. You can see the pride and joy of my life behind you. So one of the most requested videos I think I've ever gotten is, how do you choose the right tarot reader? And yeah, it's a tough one. I think people's biggest hesitation in getting a tarot reading is a doubt that they're going to be able to pick the right reader, and then they're just wasting their money. And it's valid because tarot readings can be really expensive. They're really intense, and so you want to make sure that you have the right reader on your side when you get your reading. So today we're just going to have a sweet, nice chat about how you can choose the right reader for you, and let's get into it. So why is it so hard to choose the right reader? It's because tarot reading is what Jungian Marie-Louise von Franz would call chaos divination. It's not like an astro reading where an astrologer is going to have a set chart, nor is it like getting healing work like a massage where you can orient the healer to what your needs are in the moment. Obviously, it's important to have the right people for those kinds of work too. But for tarot reading, because it's so subjective, because it is so chaotic working with these symbols, you're trying to interpret things that live in the unconscious imagination into things of coherent meaning. When you have the spread before you, you have 5, 10, 15 cards that are in communication with each other. They're speaking to each other. And the tarot reader's job is to translate that for you. But the thing is, every tarot reader is going to be hearing a different language. And it's obviously important to make sure that the person you choose is somebody who has skill and knowledge and experience. But ultimately, how well they know the cards or how long they've been reading for people are not great markers for you deciding who's right for you. Because when we're looking for the right reader, it's not all about skill. It's also about how we're going to connect to the person that we're in the container with, how we're going to understand their archetypal language if we're going to be able to speak on the same plane. So when picking a reader, you don't need to seek out the best, you need to seek out the right one. So what I have for you to try to navigate this process is 4 tips that I've used that I think are important to at least getting you on the right track. So let's start with number 1, which is know why you're getting the reading. And yeah, I know this sounds really dumb because of course you know why you're getting the reading. You're getting the reading because something is going on in your life that you need some answers about. A lot of times when we come to a tarot reading, we're looking for an answer. We're looking for that kind of just direction into how to resolve some tension in our lives. But so often when we go in looking for that and we get it, we actually walk away feeling more disoriented than when we went in. And the reason for this is that when we are looking for external answers, when we're seeking someone to tell us what to do, there's usually a resistance to that in our psyches. There's a part of us that usually questions it, pushes back against it, asks, is this right? I don't know. Now there's more doubt in me. So you have to know what it is you're really asking. If you're really looking for somebody to give you that clear prediction, to really tell you what it is you're supposed to do, you need to look for a reader who has that angle, who is going to be working in that predictive style. But if what you're really looking for, and it's what most people are looking for in my experience, is somebody to reflect back at you the wisdom you already hold within yourself so that you get clarity, then you have a little bit more information on how to find that right person who's good at that specific work. If you take the time to actually process what you really are looking to know, you'll probably find out it's something like to find faith in yourself, to be able to have the confidence to make the choice that you need to make, and to mine your own inner wisdom about what you want. Then when you look for a reader, if you find that they tend to, be the type of reader to really empower you, to give you the tools to make clear decisions, you're gonna have a lot more of a connection with that person. There are definitely readers out there who promote themselves as being really good at certain types of situations. Know whether you're looking to find out if you're on the right path, or if you just need some like tough love clarity about a situation, or whether you're looking to kind of really dive deep into a relationship conflict. So for example, I'm not necessarily the reader that you're going to go to if you are in the middle of a breakup and you want to know if you should get back together with someone. My style of reading is archetypal. So we're going to be looking at your complexes and your deep psyche and your past traumas and your primordial fears and desires. That's going to take you really far away from the question of the moment. So there are other readers out there who are really good at that, and those are the people that you should be seeking out. Number 2, you have to do your research. Perhaps this is a bit obvious, but I can't tell you how many clients have come to me thinking that I'm going to predict what's going to happen for them next month, and I have never done that in my life. As I said, I am an archetypal reader. I focus on psycho-spiritual transformation. So when I do get a client who is looking for just some feedback on, what to look for in the next 3 months of their year, they're pretty disappointed. And honestly, me too. That sucks when that happens. We find people in really random ways in this modern world, right? Maybe you get a recommendation from a friend, or maybe you just randomly bump into somebody on TikTok who seems really smart and knows the tarot really well. Just getting that first level of introduction to them is not enough information to book with them. Make sure you are following them on Instagram and subscribe to their YouTubes if they have one, and following them on Twitter and wherever else they may be around. Check in with how they present themselves on their social media, and you'll get a really clear sense of who they are as a person, who they are as a reader. Go to their websites, scan through their policies, read their blog posts. The more you actually familiarize yourself with the reader, with their style, with how they use their words, how they present their energy, you're just gonna get more and more information about whether you like them. I would recommend that when you first are thinking about getting a tarot reading, do not book a tarot reading immediately the moment you feel like you need one. This is like a crisis panic jerk reaction sort of a thing. And often when you go into readings like that, you're still just spinning out of control and you're not really gonna absorb anything. Let things settle a little bit. Of course, there's gonna be times where you need somebody right now and you just have to get clarity. And in those moments, maybe you just have to let fate handle it a little bit. Just walk into a witch shop and just see who's there and hope it's gonna be a really deep connection. That happens all the time. I one time walked into a little witch shop and got a reading, and I ended up with like a glitter magician. It was wild. Anyway, just invest, really care, really do your research, really look through their stuff, look in their past posts, get to know them deeply. And I have to say, this has to be said over and over and over again.
Beware of scammers.
I don't know what is happening in the world right now where people have just come up with this plan to take advantage of people who are seeking readers and seeking emotional healing. It is just so disgusting to me and just rampant at this point. So please, please, please be aware of this. On Instagram and TikTok and other social media platforms, there are people who will pose as tarot readers, often pose as readers who have an established audience. They'll DM you and say, hey, I know that you're looking for a reading right now and I have it for you. I've had a lot of followers come to me and say they got scammed out of some money, and I promise you, most tarot readers will never approach you to give you a reading. It's very weird when that happens. Be curious, do deep research, and protect yourselves, because that's such a gross thing on the internet, and I'm really sorry for anybody who's been victimized by them. It's stupid and it sucks, and just be wary. Okay, moving on to number 3. You can always connect first. Now, I want to have a little caveat about this one because there are definitely people out there, myself included sometimes, that will not answer a DM. Especially if the person that you're interested in getting a reading from has a bit of a following or has a very active clientele, they might not have time to answer your questions. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to ask them questions. It is totally fair for you to need to get a little bit of a connection with the reader first before you book a reading. The thing is that readings can be expensive. You can very easily grab a reading somewhere for, $50, but if you want something deeper, you want something that is really legit, it's probably gonna be a little pricier than that. So if you end up spending $100, $150, $200 on a reading, you're probably gonna want to make sure that this person is really gonna connect with you first. And so it is so okay to reach out to them via email or DM. I will say DMs are less likely to get a response, so I'd recommend emailing them. It also looks a little bit more serious and professional. That's the thing on social media. You're just as likely to get DMs from people who are interested in getting a reading from you as you are people who just want to steal every ounce of information in your brain for free. So I'd recommend get their email them, reach out through their website, and just ask simple questions. Be very careful about taking too much of their time. No one wants to give someone an hour-long conversation before they book a 30-minute reading. That's not really fair, but it's totally okay just to say, this is my situation. Do you think that a reading with you is the right fit for me? Just check in, see if they'll chat with you, see if your styles will align, see if they can provide you the insight that you're looking for, and that's totally okay and totally welcome for you to try. All right, finally, number 4, trust the vibe. I hate the word vibe a little bit. It absolutely means nothing, but it also means something very kind of intuitive. We all know what a vibe is. It's the feeling that something is good or bad or weird or perfect. And honestly, that sometimes is the best information we have about somebody. So if you find someone on Instagram who just shares like literally the best tarot memes and that makes you smile and you just feel like that person will get you, that could be good information to consider booking a reading with them, as silly as that sounds. You don't want to skip steps 2 and 3. You definitely want to make sure you do your research and you want to reach out to them if you are, looking to be careful about your investment. So while I don't think that you should choose a tarot reader based on their color palette, I do think that it can be information that is communicated intuitively. People who fall on my Instagram are gonna see a lot of pink, a lot of flowers, a lot of soft things. That's not why anyone should book with me, but it will communicate to them that I am gentle in a reading. I try to make sure that I bring in an aspect of soothing for the weary, heartbroken souls that come into a reading with me. The way I present my vibe, I guess, in the world, I try to communicate that. So trust your gut, honestly. That's the moral of this story. When you feel like someone is right, you kind of just have to go for it. And I know we're really, really nervous about wasting our money, and I totally get that. But here's what I'm gonna say. When you book a tarot reading, you are not booking a session to get all of your answers to all of your life questions. You are booking an experience of surrendering to your own depth. You are trying to access yourself, your intuition, your own wisdom. And what you want to do is have the faith that the person who is the conduit of that space, who's channeling it for you, can be that space maker, can really hold the complexity and do a good job of translating the symbolism of the cards. But you cannot go into a tarot reading and think that this is gonna solve your life. If you put that much pressure on yourself and on your reader, it's just gonna make it a disaster. I think that as long as you feel like that person that you're going to that space with can hold it for you, can be present with you, can speak a language that you think will be understood, that you'll understand, then it's going to be worth it. I don't mean to say lower your expectations. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. Don't put the pressure on this experience to be the thing that solves your whole life. Allow your intuition to tell you when someone's energy pings off of yours. Allow your intuition to guide you to a person who seems like they really know how to be a guide for you. And don't question it too much. Don't get in your head. Don't say, oh my God, what if they're not as good as I think they are? What if these testimonials are a lie? Don't worry so much about that. Have a little faith, have a little trust. So honestly, how do you find the right reader? You find it on the internet. So you find one. You could Google tarot readers. I don't know what kind of results you're gonna get from that. I would say be on social media, be on Instagram, be on TikTok. Be curious about profiles of people who seem to know what they're talking about and are confident in what they talk about and who talk about things in a way that you really get, you really resonate with. And when you find someone that really clicks, save their profile, follow them, and you'll have them for the moment you need them. I wish I had like a better magical answer. You know, they say this or they do that and you know. I think you just know. I think that's kind of the point. Honestly, I've gone through 7, 8 readers before I found one where I was like, yeah, this is the one I'm gonna keep for a long time. The vibe was right, the communication was right. I could read their posts and see how much effort they put into their tarot philosophy, and all of that meant a lot to me, and that's how I knew. So do your research, ask your questions, know what it is that you're looking for in a reading, and just trust your intuition, and you'll find the right person. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and to subscribe so that you get lots of more tips and reflections like this one. Leave me a comment about how you found the right reader for you or what that experience was like, or if you have any other tips. I'd love to hear them. I think that's all I have for you. Have a beautiful, meaningful day. I was covered in green glitter, and while it was a very sparkly, sweet experience, I can't tell you a single card that was pulled in that reading. It was nuts.